Hi, my name is Nicki and I'm part of Real Life Church. I've been asked to share a bit of what God's been speaking to me about recently, and in particular about a dream that I had recently when I was experiencing some physical pain, and after praying to God fell asleep and was woken by the smell of smoke, which thankfully wasn't a real house fire, but also by God saying, this is like a forest fire and there'll be beauty from the ashes. So after praying into this and having a look at his word, there's a few things that jumped out to me that I thought might be helpful to other people in approaching the next season. Forest fires, a bit like the pandemic we are experiencing, are a natural disaster that can cause death and destruction. However, forest fires can be used by nature for good, clearing dead plants and releasing locked-in nutrients to the soil, enabling healthy new beginnings for the ecosystem. God pointed out Isaiah 61, which speaks of the Lord bestowing on his people a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. We can have hope in God for this season ahead. I feel like God wants to do something new. What grows back after a fire may not resemble what was lost, but often has more uniqueness and diversity. We can put ourselves under pressure to make life go back to normal, but perhaps this is a chance for God to lead us into a new season of growth. Isaiah 61 verse 11 says, "For as the soil makes the sprout come up, and a garden causes seeds to grow, so the sovereign Lord will make righteousness and praise spring up before all nations." When people interfere by managing forest regeneration the way they think is best, it can actually do more harm than good. We need to hand over control to God and allow the rebuilding process to be organic and spirit-led. Fire clears the forest canopy, letting more light into the forest floor, encouraging seedlings to grow. Life has become stripped back and simplified during lockdown. I don't want to fill that precious space back up with stuff that doesn't add value. We have opportunity to pursue a simplified approach to life and church, to give space for our light, Jesus, to shine and raise up things that will glorify him. Drought after a forest fire can hamper regeneration. We need an outpouring of the Spirit and a time of soaking and refilling. Certain seeds, such as pine cones, are sealed with a resin that melts in fires, releasing them to grow into trees. Perhaps in this season we will see the germination of seeds that have long been sown. Finally, Isaiah 61 goes on to say of God's people, "They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendour. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated." Oak trees are well known to be resilient in fire. They can be burned right down to a stump and look dead, but sprout again from the roots. And these sprouts grow more vigorously than fresh young acorn shoots, which also sprout up in the nutrient-rich ashes. Established oaks are indeed a splendid sight, with wide branches providing shelter and the acorns nourishment for other living things. I pray that as a church we will grow vigorously and be a source of blessing and provision for our wider community.